Our lives don't change unless we take action, unless we make a new decision today. Nothing changes unless right now in this moment you decide to be someone else, to do something else, and to live like someone else. Now, it won't be a massive change. It'd be a small incremental change. It's in the small things where the large results come from. If you're a coach and you find yourself procrastinating on your business and not really having that same drive or the level of intensity that's required of you to grow your business, to be a thriving business, because at the end of the day, you started a coach because ultimately you wanted to transform lives, but not only transform lives, you wanted to build a business so you can gain financial freedom to do the things that you want. And so if you're having trouble achieving that goal, don't worry, this video is for you. My goal in this video is to give you 4 principles shifts that you need to make in order to have and run a thriving coaching business. So just to get people who are new to this channel, my name is Franz, and this is my channel Flow with Franz, where my goal is to help you start and scale your online coaching business. But not only that, to help you become the best version of you, because at the end of the day, when you grow, your business grows. So without any ado, let's jump into today's topic. So these 4 principles, I learned them through my own personal trials. When I first started my journey, my coaching journey, I was a person who didn't actually take a lot of action. I didn't really, I would talk about the things that I wanted to do, but I wouldn't really put the effort or the energy behind it. And so it wasn't until I read this book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where I adopted one of these principles, and honestly, one of the best principles I've ever adopted. And, it's night and day in my business and my life when I'm living this principle and when I'm not living this principle. And the principle is called the principle of proactivity. Being a proactive person is required and necessary for you as a coach. Well, let me explain. It's like most of us are reactive by nature. We are reacting to the people around us, our friends, our society, our school, right? Other people. You ever had the experience where you're driving your car and someone cuts you off and you get some road rage and they're yelling at you and then you go and yell right back at them. Well, in that moment, you had a choice not to even yell. Yes, they cut you off. Yes, that thing happened. And yes, they got angry. But choosing to react, right, to their behavior now they have hijacked you and your personhood versus choosing to respond in the sense of I'm not going to let anything outside of me really dictate my behavior. And so this is important because when I mean proactivity, I mean it in those moments, like being very proactive with changing you and changing your character and changing how you emotionally respond. But not only just being proactive in that, but being proactive in general. There's certain things that you've been neglecting in your business that there are priorities that need to get done. AKA, one of the examples is content creation. That is one of the most important things that every one of us need to get done, whether and just putting out content and getting our face out there. But so many of us who are coaches, who have skill sets, who can transform people's lives, don't do that. We don't put our content out. It could be imposter syndrome, it could be fear, it could be I don't know what to talk about, it could be I don't know marketing. And I get all of that because I was once there myself. But as soon as I started making excuses, I started living more of reactive lifestyle, right? When I chose not to create content or not to show up, it's because I'm reacting to how I feel internally, uncomfortable, cringe. I'm living a reactive lifestyle, and so this is why I'm really emphasis on the proactivity and making proactivity part of your nature, part of your character. Like I when I first started embodying this proactivity nature, it was for the gym. And as soon as I made the gym the primary activity, I'm going to be active about it, that I wouldn't even let myself talk myself out of going to the gym. There'd be moments where I'd be like, oh my God, I'm tired. Like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I'd still go anyways, right? Because at the end of the day, I chose to be a proactive individual. So as you start to build this habit, build this discipline within you, you'll start to notice that this is going to affect every area of your life. So the things that you have been fearful of, the things that you've been procrastinating, you have to be proactive and attack them with urgency. And I say this because the only way is through. Not doing anything is not going to solve the problem. Ignoring it is not going to solve the problem. Choosing something else, this is where a lot of people get shiny object syndrome. Is like when things get hard, they put their focus towards something else. No, you have to power through that resistance in order to gain the life and the freedom that you're looking for, whatever it may be, whether it's relationships, whether it's your health, or whether it's your business. But a proactive lifestyle is very important to your success as a coach, but not just for you, but for your clients too. Because at the end of the day, you need to show up, and when they see you showing up, then they respect you so much more because they know they need to be showing up. We all need to be showing up, and we all need to be holding each other accountable. But the second principle, jump into it, is this one is a little bit, it's not really something you do, it's something you embody, right? And all of them are really something you embody. But principle two is about the principle of a personal vision, right? Most of us are reacting, right? And I'm going to bring the reaction back to the fears and the images that come within our own minds, or the perceived dangers that may occur in our lives, in our vicinity, because we can imagine it. And so when you don't work on your vision, when you don't work on seeing the big picture in your own mind, seeing it vividly and getting clear on the picture of the person that you want to be, business that you're running, the activities that you're doing, then you are going to self-sabotage yourself on a daily basis. Because if you keep seeing failure within your own mind, for your own business, for your own health, for your own relationships, for any area of your life, you're going to make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So one of the things that I would recommend to people who are having those issues with like controlling the picture in their minds, if you see pictures, is taking the moment to imagine or daydream the reality that you want. Get excited about the actual reality, the actual response, the actual outcome that you want. Get emotionally invested into it, but then be detached from it. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to respond to the emotions that's associated. At the end of the day, you can respond to those emotions, because those emotions would be positive if you're able to successfully do this, right? But I say this because if you can see yourself winning in your mind, and you can feel yourself winning in your present state moment right now, you will start to do the actions and the behaviors that require you to get to that vision of yourself. As soon as you take your mind off of that vision of where you want to go, and I think it's Proverbs 8:28 or something like that. I could be wrong, but without no vision, the people will perish. And so basically, you need to have a picture of where you're going. You need to know. And I say this because when we were kids, elementary school, right? If you had a horrible childhood, or childhood wasn't really going your way, or school experience wasn't going your way, you would always have middle school and high school to look towards. And then, if some of us, if high school wasn't the exact perfect way that you saw your high school experiences, then we would have college. And then if college didn't work out, then we would have the real world. And when you start making money, you'll start being able to do all the things that you want. No one could tell you what to do. But then we all get into the real world. And it's not as easy as we like to think. With that responsibility, with the extra income and extra free time, comes a lot of responsibility that we must adopt for ourselves. But most of us get lost when we actually start working in the workplace, because we get the job, we finally made it, and then we're like, what else? What's next? And if you don't think what's next, most people are. If you're like me, then you're probably getting drunk every weekend, not caring about what comes next, because you'll just get messed up the next weekend after that. And so I say this because, one, you want to be proactive in nature, and two, you want to have a vision that you're working towards, a vision that you can see in your mind. And that's personal to each individual. I think everybody is given a purpose, a vision for their lives, and most of us choose not to go after that vision. And so it's your job and your responsibility to cultivate that vision over time and build it. I recommend building a vision plan, getting really clear about your goals, getting really clear about where you want to go, and getting really clear, how do you see your life, your vision, your business, knowing that no plan survives contact with reality. Man plans, God is last, right? Understanding that the reason why you want to get a vision is because that vision will at least start giving you the steps to start working your way towards where you need to be, start giving you that proactivity, well, because you'll have an idea what actions that you need to take to get the result that you're looking for. And along the way, you're going to get feedback. And with that feedback, with you growing your coaching business, growing yourself, that leads us to principle three, which is the principle of management, where it's really understanding that, your job is to be effective, right? And most of this you can get from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but your job as an individual is to be an effective individual. Not efficient, but effective. Effective means you get the results done. You get it done, okay? Most of us are not effective. We don't do the right things at the right time. And so, and one of the reasons why is because most of us have our priorities all mixed up. They're not straightened out. I think Dr. Covey in his book, 7 Habits Highly Effective People, did a great job of explaining. Could be wrong. Excuse me. It's been a while since I read that book. Kind of going off of memory, and I actually just started rereading it again. But I wanted to share this information with you guys because I think it's very valuable. But he basically talks about a time matrix. I say self principle of management is key to your growth because most of us are not effective individuals. We don't prioritize the things that are important and urgent. And so in this time matrix, there's urgent and not urgent. And then you have important, not important. Most of us spend our time in non-important and not urgent activities. It's video games, sports, anything that's really just instant gratification, right? Like going out to drink. That's probably not that important unless you've made it a priority for yourself. But each their own. But we're talking to coaches. We're speaking to coaches, and you know that there's priorities that you need. There's things that activities that you need to take that will move the needle to get you closer to your principle two, which is the vision of the life that you're looking for. So I put most people's coaching businesses are important but not urgent. Right? It's a nice to have. It's like if I have a good quality coaching business and I'm running, that's great. But I know that I'm not doing the things that I need to do in order to build that quality business. Or I am doing things, I am being active, but they're not the important and urgent activities that I need to focus on. Right. And so your job is to put your business in the category of important and urgent. That it is a necessity for you to create this business. It is no matter what, the fear should not hold you back because it's something that's so necessary to your evolution, to your growth, that you're willing to do it regardless of how you feel because it's important and urgent. But most of us don't spend time on the important and urgent tasks, or even just the urgent tasks, the important tasks that are not urgent. And your job ultimately with the principle of management is when you're being proactive, right? And you have a clear vision of where you want to go, you need to measure the activities. You need to know what you have to do. So one of them, the easiest as a coach, as a content creator, is to show up creating content. That's easily measurable because why? You can see all the times that you posted online. Then you can count the days that you posted. If you're posting 1 to 2, whatever, do the math. But ultimately, you need to know what activities are going to actually move the needle. What activities will make you actually effective as a coach? For me, I procrastinated. I would work on things that weren't the activities that were helping me grow a business. That's why if you guys see me, if you look at my content so far, my goal is to create content as much as possible and get it out there. Imperfect action is better than no action. And ultimately, why? Because I know that content creation is one of the most important things to grow your business as a coach. And every day that I neglect that important thing because I haven't made it urgent, then my business gets kicked down the can even further. And so I have to make it an urgent thing that I'm doing, that I'm actively working on, because ultimately my goal is to build a thriving coaching business that's bringing in X amount of revenue and ultimately helping and transforming enough people that I let my reputation precede me. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But enough on that note, I will get us into the next principle, which is principle 4. And I think it's very important. Honestly, it's the principle of massive action, right? It's like, I talked about proactivity as just being more proactive. But the massive action is what will move the needle the fastest. Now, some of you are probably taking no action right now. And I'm saying massive action, I mean massive action comparable to what you already have been doing. So if you've been doing, let's say, hitting the gym 2 days a week, go hit it 4 days a week, right? You want to be taking more action than you normally will. And some of you guys are going to, be thinking that, oh man, like that's a lot of work. I can't do that. Or the brain is already looking for excuses to give you so you don't have to do it, so you can justify not doing it. I get it. And that leads me to a story. I met this guy at the gym and I was on the Stairmaster. I was walking backwards on the Stairmaster and he came up to me. He's like, hey man, like, what is that work? What are you doing here? And I told him, oh, it helps with your knees. It's good for your legs. And things of that nature. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. You think I'd be able to do it? And I was like, yeah, you could. It's like, oh, I don't know if I can because, I might fall. off the bat, this man is coming up with all the excuses and things of nature in his mind of what's stopping him from doing. But I told him, just get started, right? Because at the end of the day, just starting is the key, right? So when I'm talking about massive action, some of you guys just need to get started. Some of you guys are working, but you got to do more, right? It's like if you're not getting the results that you want, do more. And if doing more doesn't solve a problem, go back to your vision, go back to the management and start looking, okay, where do you need to improve? What do you need to change? Because if doing more is not getting you the goals that you want, that means you're not doing the right things, right? If you're doing the right things, then you know doing more is going to keep getting you the more of the right things ultimately. So I lead with principle of 4 of massive action, because each one of us, our lives don't change unless we take action, unless we make a new decision today. Nothing changes unless right now in this moment you decide to be someone else, to do something else, and to live like someone else. Now, it won't be a massive change. It'd be a small incremental change. It's in the small things where the large results come from. You have to change yourself on a habitual level, not even just a habitual level, an identity level. You must become someone else. You need to be switching principles in your own mind and creating your own principles that help you get closer to the vision of the life that you want to create. Because right now, the version of you right now, if you're not living the life that you want, it's because this version is not ready for that life. There's certain habits, certain actions, certain behaviors that you have not adopted yet and accepted as you. And on that note, I'm going to leave it at that. If you're looking to start and scale your online coaching business, reach out to me, click the link in the below. But this, my goal, like I said to you guys, to help you grow and be the best version of yourself. And if there's specific content that you're looking for, specific information that you're looking for, and if I can help, feel free to comment. Feel free to reach out to me on IG. Started my whole new IG page. It's Flow with France. Right now, I'm not going to really focus on that. I think I've told you guys from the content. My goal is to really just give you guys as much game and just give it all for free. Everything that I've learned along the journey that's helped me and hopefully help you guys so you can move a little bit closer to your goals. But on that note, you guys be blessed and highly favored. I shall see you at the top, and you have a wonderful day.